There's a chair in most Western bedrooms. You know the one. It stopped being a chair a long time ago. It's where clothes go when they're not quite dirty enough to wash and not quite clean enough to put back. The jacket from Tuesday, the jeans that were only worn for a few hours, the cardigan that needs to be returned to wherever it actually lives. Every week or two, that chair becomes a pile. The pile becomes a project. The project becomes a declutter session that feels good for about 3 weeks. And then the chair fills up again. Japanese homes tend not to have this chair, not the object, the problem. And the reason comes down to 5 habits that approach the wardrobe from a completely different direction. Not organizing it after it gets out of hand, but building a system where it structurally can't. 2 of those habits take under 2 minutes. The last one has nothing to do with your wardrobe at all, and it's the one that holds everything else in place. If this kind of content feels like the right fit, the Japanese approach to living simply and well, a like and a subscribe genuinely help this channel reach people who are actually looking for it. So let's start right where the problem actually begins. Habit number 1. Before a single item enters a Japanese wardrobe, a decision has already been made. The word is Kime, from kimeru, to decide, to fix something in place. In everyday Japanese life, it describes the act of committing to a standard, a rule that holds so you don't have to keep making the same choice again. Applied to clothing, it means deciding what role every item plays in your wardrobe before it takes up space in it. Most wardrobe clutter doesn't arrive as clutter. It arrives as a bargain, an impulse, this might work with something I already have. The item comes home, hangs for a few weeks without being worn, and eventually becomes part of the background of things that need to be dealt with. Japanese women tend to ask a different question before buying. What specific gap does this fill, and what am I willing to let go to make room for it? If neither answer is clear, the item stays in the store. This isn't minimalism as a personality or an aesthetic. It's a decision made upstream, before the wardrobe ever needs to be organized, that quietly prevents the problem from forming in the first place. Once you control what comes in, the daily relationship with your wardrobe becomes something different entirely. Deciding what enters the wardrobe is where it starts. What happens with those clothes the moment they come off at night is the second next, and it's the one that keeps small piles from ever becoming big ones. Every evening, the clothes come off. What happens in the next 2 minutes determines whether the wardrobe stays manageable for the rest of the week. In most Western homes, there's a chair, or a corner of the floor, or the edge of the bed, the designated place where clothes go when they're not quite clean and not quite ready to be put away. Japanese homes tend not to have this place, not because of extraordinary willpower, but because the daily reset is built into the rhythm of getting undressed. Items worn once but still clean go back to their designated place immediately. Items for the wash go directly to the laundry basket. The act of undressing and the act of returning each item happen together, not as 2 separate decisions, but as one continuous motion. It takes about 2 minutes. Done nightly, it means the wardrobe never accumulates the small pile that becomes a large one. The chair stays empty. The floor stays clear. Not because the house is naturally tidy, but because the reset is small enough to happen every single time without requiring effort or thought. None of this works, though, if the wardrobe itself is built to hide things from you. And that's the question the 3rd habit answers. Why Japanese drawers are designed so nothing has to be searched for in the first place. A Japanese wardrobe is designed around one quiet principle. Everything should be visible at the same time. Mi-eru-ka, roughly translated as making visible, is a concept that runs through Japanese manufacturing, home organization, and daily life. In a wardrobe, it means no stacked piles that hide what's underneath, no deep shelves where things disappear behind other things, no drawer where items sink to the bottom and stay there for months. Every item should be findable without moving something else first. The practice that makes this possible is vertical folding. Items stood upright in drawers rather than stacked horizontally. T-shirts, jeans, knitwear, folded into compact rectangles and arranged in rows like files in a cabinet. Open the drawer and see everything at once. Find what you need. Close the drawer. The morning stops being a search operation and becomes a straightforward choice. This works precisely because of what came before it. A wardrobe with only what earns its place, reset daily, has few enough items that full visibility is achievable without special storage solutions. Mi-eru-ka isn't a trick, it's the downstream effect of two habits already in place. Everything so far happens daily, but the fourth habit only happens twice a year, and it's the one that catches what the daily reset can't see. Twice a year, once when the heat arrives, once when it leaves, Japanese women formally change their wardrobe over. The word is Kirikae, the switch. In Japan, the seasonal wardrobe change has deep cultural roots. Schools, workplaces, and households observe it at roughly the same time each year, a shared rhythm built into the calendar. But beyond the tradition, Kirikae serves a practical purpose that most Western wardrobes miss. It creates a natural pause to evaluate what's actually being used. As items come out of seasonal storage and go back in, a quiet question is asked of each one. Did this serve me last season? Was it reached for, or did it sit untouched? Items that don't pass that review don't go back in, not dramatically, not as part of a separate declutter session, but simply as part of the switch. The wardrobe is refreshed without requiring a dedicated moment of motivation to reorganize it. This twice-yearly rhythm does what most one-time decluttering sessions try but often fail to do permanently. It builds in a review cycle, so nothing lingers unexamined for years. The wardrobe stays current because the calendar makes sure it's looked at. So what makes all four of these habits actually stick year after year? The fifth habit is the answer, not another action at all. It's the reason the other four ever work in the first place. Before anything new enters a Japanese wardrobe, something already there is quietly reconsidered. The word is Mottainai. It has no clean English equivalent. The closest translation is something like, what a waste, but the feeling runs deeper than that. Mottainai is the discomfort of letting something useful go unused, of replacing something that still had more to give. It applies across Japanese daily life, to food, to materials, to objects, but it runs particularly deep in how Japanese women think about clothing. Buying something new while something old goes unworn is, in this framing, a form of waste, not only of money, but of the old item itself, which deserved to be used until it was genuinely finished, not simply set aside because something newer arrived. So when a Japanese woman considers adding something to her wardrobe, the question runs in two directions at once. Does this new thing earn its place? And has the thing it might replace genuinely run its course? This isn't a rule imposed from outside. It's a felt sense, the mild discomfort of owning things that aren't being used, that shapes purchasing before the wardrobe ever needs to be reorganized. The result is a wardrobe that doesn't outgrow itself, that doesn't need a periodic intervention to bring it back under control, that stays the shape it was designed to be, because the mindset that built it is the same one maintaining it every single day. Return to where this started, the wardrobe that stays tidy without constant decluttering. It isn't a system of bins and labels. It isn't a one-time purge that gradually undoes itself over the following months. It's 5 habits working at different points in the same cycle, before buying, after undressing, each time the drawer opens, twice a year when the seasons turn, and in the quiet moment before something new comes in. Each one is small. Together, they make the problem of wardrobe disorganization something that simply doesn't accumulate. The wardrobe doesn't tidy itself. It was designed to stay tidy from before the first item stepped into it. Which of these 5 are you starting with? Leave it in the comments. We read every one. If you found this helpful, give this video a like and consider subscribing to my channel. It really helps the channel grow, and make sure you don't miss the next videos. Now, take care of what you already have. I'll see you in the next one.